I told my dogs we were gonna be rich one day. Ha. You know what it do, nigga. Motherfucker, I'm rolling. Top truck in that Lamborghini, bitch. Telling from where Willis, I just had a few martinis on the beach. Miss Dior, and she got on the bikini. Pussy niggas in my city playing. They don't wanna see me, I'm rolling.
Okay, let's try this again. I know it's been a few days, and some of you who follow my channel, you're probably wondering what are my thoughts on Patrick Crusius and that other dude who I'll probably speak of in another video, because I saw a meme on Facebook that kind of piqued my interest about that dude. But like, I just wanted to speak on this. This type of language, this type of behavior, this type of attitude is what America was built on. This white nationalism that has been that has fans that have been flamed, flames that have been fanned by the current commander in chief, or the toddler in chief, the man that's in the White House at this very moment, a man who is a known racist, who has a history of practicing racial bigotry and hatred and prejudice against those who are non-white. Ever since this man has gotten to the White House, a lot of these people have felt emboldened to come along and just express their true deep feelings about a certain group of people who they hate simply because of the color of their skin, or because of their religion, or their race or whatnot. Like Donald Trump is responsible. Even though people like Patrick Crusius and the other guy who committed mass murder over the weekend, even though they're the ones who pulled the trigger, wasn't Donald Trump is the one who encouraged people like this to go out and commit mass murders. Like Patrick Crusius, who's from Allen, Texas. Allen, Texas is a town that's right outside of Dallas. He murdered 21 people in El Paso, Texas, which is like 650 miles, if I'm not mistaken. That's like a 10-hour drive from Allen to El Paso, because Texas is pretty huge. Like he drove all the way over there and said that he went there to kill Mexicans, and like he went over there, he shot and killed innocent bystanders and was taken in alive. He surrendered. Like, they actually took him in alive, and he didn't commit suicide. They took him in alive. Now see, if that was a black man, they would have shot him dead. But they took Patrick Crusius in alive. I wondered, did they feed him? Did they take him to Burger King and feed him before they sent him to jail? Because we all know how they like to handle their fellow white supremacists with kid gloves. But what kills me is that so-called individuals are still using the mental illness the mental illness card. I know some people who do have mental illness, but they don't. But they wouldn't do something like this. If mental illness doesn't make you go load a weapon or a high-powered rifle with tons of ammo, body armor, and hop into your car and drive 650 miles and drive 650 miles to a completely different town that you're not familiar with, and just execute people left and right. Patrick Crusius knew what he was doing, but of course, since he's white, they're going to use the typical mental illness. Like, if it was a black guy, they'll blame BLM, or they'll blame Chicago. If that was an Arab, they'll call him a terrorist. If he was Hispanic, he would have said illegal immigrant. But since he's white, like the typical common shooter, they're saying he has mental illness. I'm sick and tired of hearing this. I'm sick and tired of the mental illness thing. And like and for those who are wondering, like why I chose not to speak on this as soon as it came out, because I'm tired of hearing about this. And number two, I knew they was gonna play the mental illness card. I'm kind of tired of playing the mental illness card, because they know exactly what the deal is. They constantly have with people like this who commit actions like this. They constantly have egg on their face, but like they can't. Barack Obama's no longer in the White House, so you can't blame him. You can't be like, oh, I bet he was from Chicago. There was 400 murders in Chicago. Like every time you try to throw this at white people's face, they'd be like, what about black on black crime? There was 100 people who were murdered in Chicago yesterday. They always got to use the Chicago excuse. I'd be like, here's the thing. When somebody say that to me, I'll be like, wait a minute. If there was 100 victims, people who were murdered in Chicago, name some of those victims' names. Name some of the killers' names. Who were these victims in Chicago who were killed yesterday? And 99.9999% of the time, they don't have an answer for it. Hell, shit, almost 100% of the time, they don't have an answer for it. It's just another deflection. Just like Patrick Crusius, he's doing what's in his DNA, because like people like him feel the need to want to practice this so-called supremacy on those who they feel are inferior to them. So therefore they'll go out and shoot innocent bystanders, and others who look like them will try to justify their actions and call it mental illness. This goes to show you the hypocrisy that this country has.